It was supposed to be just another night. Just two friends, two co-stars, two women who had risen to global fame together, shutting the world out long enough to breathe. But for fans, that night became a chapter they never stopped talking about. The date was never revealed. No timestamp. No official paparazzi picture. But what the fandom does best is connect dots. A matching hoodie here, a reflection in a mirror there, a blurred silhouette captured outside an upscale apartment complex. Rumors began swirling. Freen was seen entering Becky's building around 10 p.m. A fan caught them wearing the same sweater 2 days later. Becky's nail polish in her IG story was the exact color Freen had posted the night before. Was it just coincidence? Or was it the beginning of something deeper? Something the world wasn't ready for? The weight of fame and heartstrings. Freen and Becky met as co-stars, but almost instantly, they became something else. Something the cameras couldn't control. The chemistry was electric. Their laughs were too real, their emotional scenes too raw. The show that brought them together didn't just make them stars. It made them symbols of something pure. But stars are also flames. And when two burn side by side, sooner or later the heat becomes too much. By their 3rd year together in the spotlight, whispers turned to expectations. From fans, from press, and even from each other. What looked effortless on screen now came with pressure no one could see. Freen, the calm and confident shield who protected Becky from the chaos of attention, started closing herself off. Becky, the soft-spoken heart who found her voice beside Freen, started feeling the distance between them like a colder air in the room. The more they shined together, the more the shadows grew. The night outside the apartment. No cameras, no crew, no scripts, just a pause button in a world spinning too fast. That night wasn't romantic. Not in the way movies tell it. It was something else. Something fans still argue about. Was it a breakup? Was it a confession? Was it the moment they finally fell apart? Or the moment they realized they never wanted to? Inside that quiet room, a single lamp lit the space. Becky sat on the edge of the couch, holding back tears she didn't want to release. Freen stood by the window, staring out at the city, not talking but feeling every word Becky wasn't saying. "I don't want us to break," Becky finally whispered. Freen didn't turn. "I don't want us to change. But we already have." The silence between them was the loudest it had ever been. And in that moment, the lie they'd told the world broke open. That two people could go through life-changing fame, deep emotional connection, fights, fears, and heartache, and stay untouched. They were real. Too real. And reality was where it hurt the most. The world outside kept spinning. Fans started noticing the shift. Fewer selfies together. Less playful banter in public. More interviews where their answers sounded rehearsed. Some fans panicked. Some blamed them. Some said they'd fallen out of love. Others said they were still together, just tired of chasing the approval of millions. But what no one realized was, they were fighting for each other, not against. That night at the apartment didn't break them, save them. They didn't post pictures of their pain, but they didn't let go either. From that night on, something unspoken began. A silent agreement. Not every love story needs an audience. But fans kept the flame alive, through edits, theories, and late-night threads saying, "They're real. Look at the way they look at each other." Because sometimes, the strongest love story is the one the world almost never gets to hear. Months passed, and the world moved on, as it always does. New ships were born, new dramas began, and new faces stepped into the spotlight. But for the Freen-Becky fandom, time didn't fade anything. It only sharpened the ache. The need to know. The obsession to understand what really happened between them. But little did the world know. While the spotlight grew cooler, the truth between them grew warmer. Becky began posting soft, poetic captions with no apparent meaning. Except to those who noticed. Some bonds don't break. They breathe. Still here. Still heart. Still us. And Freen. She stopped posting about work and began uploading candid photos. A messy desk, dried flowers in the shape of a heart, 2 mugs beside an open book. Fans weren't sure if it was nostalgia or a message. Somewhere between the words they didn't say and the lives they didn't explain, it became clear. There was something deeper than friendship, deeper than shipping, deeper than any interview could capture. Because not all love stories need a kiss to be real. Sometimes all it takes is staying. The reunion the fans never saw, but felt. The comeback wasn't flashy. It wasn't staged for cameras. It wasn't even for the public. It was for them. Two women who survived rumors, pressure, heartbreak, confusion, and silence. And found themselves still drawn to the one person who understood it all. Their reunion didn't happen in a studio. It happened in a place the world didn't have access to. A quiet cafe in a narrow alley, where Freen was already waiting. When Becky walked in, Freen looked up. And just like that, neither spoke for a full 10 seconds. Finally, Freen broke the silence. "I kept the flowers." "I know," Becky whispered. "You posted them." They laughed, not because it was funny but because it was necessary. The laughter wasn't loud. It was soft, healing, almost sacred. Like a wound that didn't hurt anymore. But still remembered the pain. They sat for hours, unfolding months of distance like a forgotten script. No cameras, no fans, no pressure. Just two hearts returning to where they started. When they finally stood to leave, Becky grabbed Freen's sleeve. "Next time," she said, "don't walk away without me." Freen smiled, eyes soft. "I wasn't walking away. I was waiting for you to catch up." And just like that, they weren't broken anymore. A love story that never needed a label. Nothing was announced. There was no big reveal. No social media post confirming or denying anything. And maybe that's why it worked. In private they lived fully. In public they stayed undefined. The world kept wondering. The fans kept searching for clues. But what mattered most wasn't what people could see. It was what they chose to keep sacred. A hand gently brushing another when no one's looking. A glance that means everything. And nothing to anyone else. A promise made in silence, kept in peace. Fans still debate. Were they just friends? Others argue. They loved each other. You can feel it. But what if love doesn't need a declaration? What if it just needs a heartbeat? And the courage to show up again and again, even when the world misunderstands. That's the story of Freen and Becky. Not written in headlines. Not measured in likes. Not confirmed by agencies. But felt, deeply, quietly, by those who know that the best love stories aren't the ones that are loud, but the ones that survive in the quiet. And so the echo lives on. The night that was never confirmed. The photo that was never taken. The confession that no one heard, except the two who lived it. Freen and Becky didn't disappear. They evolved. And fans. They're still piecing together every fragment. Because nothing haunts like the love story that was too beautiful to be shown, and too fragile to be forgotten.